welcome back. Our next guest is an Olympic hopeful who was suspended by the governing body Paddle UK after launching an OnlyFans account to help fund his Olympic dream. Joining us now is English canoeist Kurt Adams Rozentals. Good morning to you, Kurt. Live from the car, coming straight from training, I presume.
Exactly that, but I've got to make sure the training is not the same time as Paddle UK training slots, or I'm going to be in a sticky situation.
Okay,
right.
Okay, so we'll get into the OnlyFans in just a second, but give us an idea. I mean, you're a world-class canoeist. How did you get into canoeing? I believe it was kind of by chance.
Yeah, the dream to be a professional athlete had always been there. We moved to the UK in 2010 following the 2008 financial crisis. Dad leaves our family. We pretty much get evicted. But the dream to be an athlete had always been there. So after we moved to the UK, my mum tried everything. We still didn't have that much money, but she took us to taster sessions in the UK where you could try different sports. And by chance, we went to a scuba diving lesson and there were kids from the local canoe club. We got introduced and then they said, oh, this kid's got talent. Like, he's pretty good. And then little did she know what she signed up for.
Wow. So how far have you gotten then in your canoeing career, say?
I'm a very successful under-23 athlete, and this year I was on track to make the senior team very strongly, leading in the points, but obviously the ban came.
Okay, so yeah, you medalled at the under-23 World Championships, and I presume the dream was, and still is, to represent Great Britain at the Olympics, is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. After moving to I'm super grateful to Great Britain as a country. The things I've achieved wouldn't have been able to been achieved in Latvia, like living on the countryside. So there is something to me very special about representing Great Britain, even though right now it's, yeah. I'm a patriot of Great Britain, and ideally I would have loved to represent Great Britain this season.
Well, Kurt, what was the reality of doing this full-time and dedicating yourself to the sport in terms of how you were able to survive day to day?
Yeah, since I turned 18, I tried to take the lack of funding issue into my hands. But before then, my mom had sacrificed a lot of her life. Working 90+ hours a week, maxing out the credit cards. I'm seeing bailiffs, she's crying. So after I turned 18, I wanted to take matters into my own hands. I tried anything I was good at online because that wouldn't interact with training. And then during COVID, my mum got really ill. So then I had to start working in the Amazon warehouse. That was a really bad period because I knew athletes were making like big progress. And then I'm out there hustling the Amazon warehouse because I'm trying to not get us evicted from our house. Yeah. So I've tried everything, but in January I started the OnlyFans. Okay,
so because people probably look on and think a full-time athlete trying to get to the Olympics, life must be rosy. But I believe you're on, according to the government body, will give you £16,000 a year to try and fulfil this dream. So you're working in the likes of Amazon, doing part-time shifts, and you decided to start an OnlyFans account. What sort of content are you creating on the OnlyFans account?
It's obviously content worth paying for because people have... I didn't expect this, but as a side effect with all this press, I've had a huge influx, almost an overwhelming amount of influx of people subscribing to that. But it's not everybody's cup of tea, but it's something, as you can see on the screen now, something more than that.
So is
something more than that? Because
these
are from your Instagram page.
Oh, these are just Instagram. Okay, so these are still quite PC. Is it stuff your mum would approve of? Like, what is mum's take on the content?
No. It was a real tough period after I launched. My mum sacrificed so much of her life, and she was proud of us because we almost proved to ourselves that regardless of where you come from, I went on to become a super successful athlete. When I started OnlyFans in January, she went through a period of crying and just like not knowing what to do because her whole identity had been look, we came from nothing, but we're here. But the OnlyFans, she felt almost erased all of that past story.
Okay, so, which I can imagine is extremely difficult for you from a family perspective, but you're wanting to carry out your dream, you're financially finding it very difficult. Like, how beneficial is OnlyFans in terms of making money?
I mean, it's a wild time we're living in right now. I don't believe not athletes. I don't believe people should be getting paid that much on OnlyFans. I want that money to go to people really hustling and making this world work. You know, the real hard work but it is what it is, and it's a really efficient way of making money on the internet because I get to work whenever in my own time. And yeah, very profitable. But again, I don't want any athlete to take inspiration from this. There clearly comes a price that you have to pay.
Well, it's been reported, and you can say yes or no, that you're making over £100,000 off OnlyFans in just the last year, which would certainly fund your Olympic dream.
Not even 6 months you've earned that.
But the governing body to the Canoeing Paddle UK have since withdrawn your funding and withdrawing your recommendation to take part in the competition. They haven't stated this is because of OnlyFans, but it looks fairly pointed at this. What's the situation with Paddle UK at the moment?
Yeah, it's an interesting situation. I still don't have that much information since they opened the investigation 2 months ago. It has been absolute silence. I don't think they're helping themselves without. I don't think they're helping themselves by staying silent. I think they should at least release some more information because I'm trying to get this situation over and done with as well. Yeah, I think it could be. I think it could be the OnlyFans. It could also be the promotional videos on Instagram in relation to OnlyFans. But regardless, it's just a whole, edgy, whether it's like the actual posting on OnlyFans or the promotional content, it's just a whole edgy thing they don't like. It's not a perfect, clean image, which they would have liked to have, which they want their athletes to have.
Yeah, because Paddle UK, they say in their disciplinary policy, it lists, I'm after losing it now, that that if it goes against sort of what they kind of define as being
a role model.
Yeah, and kind of upstanding content. Do you feel that's quite outdated? Do you think they should keep their noses out of athletes' social media accounts? I
mean, they should either keep their noses out or be more open-minded or pay their athletes more so they don't seek unconventional ways. Yeah, they put me under negative behavior. I know that for sure. It's negative behavior, which is a very general term. They don't have anything in the contract that says no OnlyFans. It's a very new thing. So then they can put anything to that point, negative behavior, whatever they don't like. So yeah, I think there is definitely that disconnect of them also thinking athletes, we're still in the times of athletes having a perfect image. It's not the times we're living in. I've gained a huge influx of sponsorships and brand deals since then who don't care about OnlyFans.
Listen, Kurtz, we're just there. The strap line is choosing between OnlyFans and the Olympics. If you did get picked to represent the UK in the Olympics, but you had to close down your OnlyFans, would you do it?
No, I know what that life is like. I've been living that life on the edge. It's not a pretty life. I don't have parents backing. I don't have big sponsors. And yeah, right now it's a no. Right now I don't see how I could work with Paddle UK, sadly.
Wow. Okay. Well, listen, thanks so much for bringing this to our attention. I know that there are other athletes, Olympic divers, for instance, who have successful OnlyFans pages and they are still allowed to compete in their chosen event. It's up to the governing body, and that's Paddle UK, and we'll see what comes from it, the investigation. Kurtz, Adams, Rozentals, thank you so much for joining us live from Spain this morning. Fair play to you. There you go.
Definitely a few new subscribers, I'd say, to his OnlyFans account.
Alan Hughes has just left the building.